Hey, listeners, you are listening to another episode of the spin-off show after a little bit of a hiatus, maybe a week or so. If you haven't noticed, my voice is a little raspy, so I'm losing my voice. So I'll make this quick. I got on this show the third co-host from Voice from the Underground, the podcast, Mr. Big Haas. I loved chatting with this guy. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I wanted to space this out so I wouldn't have 3 consecutive hosts on 3 weeks in a row. So space this out, got Big Haas on. The man is passionate. The man has a ton of knowledge. We get into a variety of topics. He's super engaging. I loved talking to him. You are now checking out the Big Haas episode. This is the Jock Spin-Off Show. Big Haas, what's up, man? How's it going?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
You know what? I feel all right. My voice is a little raspy, but other than that, I think I'm all right.
It's okay. You can go and get in the booth and do your best DMX impersonation.
Did you like DMX?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
You were a Rough Rider?
Big time. Big time.
I remember being in like 6th or 7th, might have been 8th grade. I don't remember exactly, but everyone would be talking about their favorite rappers, and I would say DMX was my favorite, and everyone would be laughing. They're like, how do you like DMX? He's no Biggie or Tupac. I'm like, I don't know, I just like his voice.
It's you know something? I find that music mirrors the stage of life you're in. I'll put it to you like this. In the few years before I got divorced, I was married before. This is my second marriage.
Okay.
In the few years before I finally got like separated and divorced from my first wife, I loved angry, fucking, ghetto, dark music. Like when Eminem was going through all of that bullshit, you know, the Marshall Mathers LP, Cleaning Out My Closet, I Am Whatever You Say I Am, DMX, Mobb Deep, MOP, just anything angry I was loving for some reason. That passion you hear in their voice? It was just the angry passion. The outlet, I guess. Because I couldn't, or I didn't think I could, outlet where I needed to be outletting. You know what I'm saying? So then, I meet my current wife, and we get married, and like while we started dating and stuff, I started like, man, you know something? This music's really angry. I don't want to hear this. I want to hear. So then I'm listening to Common. I'm listening to Talib Kweli. I'm listening to more R&B, more jazz, more classical. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, whoa. Yeah. I went into a different phase of my life, and my musical taste totally like shifted. It was crazy.
I mean, if you're listening to the wrong music at the wrong point in your life, it'll shift your mood, and you're like, what? Yeah. Well, I don't want to listen to this right now.
But yeah, DMX, there was a 2 or 3 year period, maybe even 4 years, where DMX and Swiss Beats could do no wrong in my book.
Well, as a 12-year-old, I was DMX is my shit.
Okay,
so this guy's gonna give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much older are you than me?
I will be 47 on the 16th of July.
Okay, so you're 16 years older than me. Yeah. You got a little wisdom.
So you're the same age as my wife. My wife just turned 31.
Nice.
In April.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Getting the young lady.
Yep.
my
had to have a couple more kids.
My dad is 17 years older than my mom, so.
There you go. So you know what it's like.
I know. I mean, I don't know what it's like.
You got to have somebody to push your wheelchair around.
Yeah, right.
You know, if she's the same age as you, you got dueling wheelchairs. Who's pushing who?
Who's pushing whom?
There's no doubt who's going to be kicking the bucket first, who's going to be needing their diaper changed first. There will be no trading off. She's changing my diaper first. And then by the time it's her turn, it'll be the pool boy or whoever she picks up after I kick off.
So for those that don't know who you are one of the. Would you call yourself a host from the Voice from the Underground?
We are co-hosts.
Co-hosts, right?
We're all co-hosts.
Just give a brief rundown for those that don't know who you are, who Big Haas is, what the podcast is about, etc.
Let's see. Big Haas. I am just a normal,
You're
ordinary
47.
dude. I'm 47.
Robbing the cradle.
Some would say I'm robbing the cradle. Let me see. How would people describe me? People would possibly describe me as, some people describe me as a social justice warrior. Some people could describe me as a community activist. Some people describe me as an obnoxious ass sometimes. Some people would describe me as a loving father, an irritating husband. Cigar, I wouldn't say aficionado, because aficionado implies or infers a level of knowledge I haven't attained yet. I would say enthusiast.
Okay.
Cigar enthusiast, sports fan, politically engaged. I have a master's in marketing. I also held several fitness certifications. I'm an athletic performance coach, personal trainer, and group exercise instructor. Let's see.
Well, what do you not do, man? You do everything.
I don't rebuild transmissions.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Son of a single mom. So I didn't get the, come over here and watch me change oil and stuff and do things around the house and stuff. So,
I never got that either, but my parents were together, but my dad just was the type of guy that was like, I'll just call somebody else to do it. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And my philosophy on that is, I don't want to fuck it up, because if I fuck it up, then I got to fix it.
Right.
So if somebody else fucks it up, I can get it fixed and done right for free.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Some things like I'll do myself. Like I could change my own oil. I change my oil on I'm a motorcyclist. I love motorcycles. I'll change the oil on my motorcycle. I'll change the oil in my car. But I've done a couple of tune-ups, but I don't want to do that no more. Scraped all my knuckle skin off. Trying to get those spark plugs out. But there's certain things where I'm not doing it myself. Like I see guys in their driveway doing their own brakes, and I'm like, that's way too dangerous for me.
Oh,
to do
that's
myself.
Scary, man.
But if you fuck that up, dude, you in a wall.
You're dead.
You know,
you might be dead.
So I'll go ahead and I'll let Meineke or somebody do that. But avid reader, big into self improvement. So like I listen to a lot of Robin Sharma, a lot of Eric Thomas, a lot of Les Brown, a lot of John Maxwell, Deepak Chopra, things like that just try to, improve yourself from within. And when you improve yourself those ways, it tends to bleed into everything instead of trying to improve in one external area like sports or math or something like that. I find that when you improve yourself, it tends to bleed into everything, and everything else improves from there. It's like you are the root. And everything else that you might think you need to improve in are the leaves that sprout from you. So I think if you improve your internals, then it affects all of your externals, and you don't have to worry about trying to figure out which one you're going to work on now. Now, I'm going to work on my physical fitness now. Well, if you become more disciplined in general, you'll work into that physical fitness and things like that. So,
yeah, I think a lot of people find motivation in external things, such as if I get, let's say, fitness. If I get in a certain physique, I will be happy.
Right.
Whereas if you're happy starting that way, if you're happy on the inside and then try to improve your physique, it's 10 times better.
Right. Like I've had personal training clients who were like, over 250 pounds. And they're like, if I could just get to 175, I'd be beautiful.
Right.
I'm like, no, you're going to be beautiful every step of the way to that goal. And they like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you're beautiful now. You just want to improve in an area. But let's start by improving what your outlook is. You can't look at your external state and say, I'll be beautiful when my external state changes. You'll be, if you're internally beautiful, your external will change to reflect that internal.
When do you think you realize that in your life?
You get old. maybe I was maybe 38.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, and up until then, it was, if I get this car, I'll be straight. If I get this house, I'll be straight. If I get this type of woman, I'll be straight. You know, and I'll be validated and I'll be respected. And then it was like, no, if I respect myself, then that's, you know, if I validate myself and I know that I'm doing my best, then, you know, the law of attraction applies. What you put out, you get back.
I agree with that 100%. So now you've been podcasting. To tell everybody about the podcast.
So the podcast,
you're all these awesome things. You have a lot of passion.
Also a podcaster.
And you're a podcaster as well.
Yes, and that started as let's stop arguing on Facebook and argue it on a podcast.
Well, here, let me give you my thought. Let me give you my thoughts on your role in the podcast, and you can expound.
Okay, this will be great. I've never heard anybody expound on what they feel my role is. Okay. So
I've listened to you guys more than a few times. I've been on your show.
Okay. Yes,
TJ, when you have TJ on, he's the host, right? He's got that.
He's the driver. He's the driver.
Yes. Right. Yes. He's got that voice. You can tell he's done this before.
Right.
He's kind of got that even keel sort of feel, right? Jason Dutch is just a wealth of information. He just has a lot of knowledge on things, right? Just so he's kind of like your encyclopedia,
right?
Or your live ticker for the news. He just knows. Yeah. He knows what's going on. You, on the other hand, besides the humidor and all the other stuff,
right?
You are like the most in my opinion, you're the more passionate guy. You bring that fire, that energy to the show, where it's like, we've got information and we've got a driver, but where's that emotion coming from? And the other, not to say the other guys aren't emotional, but I feel like you bring that, whereas like everything you're saying has that, like, this feel behind it, where you're like, this is what I really feel. This is my passion behind it.
There's no faking me.
No, there's definitely no faking you.
Okay. All right. I'll accept that. Sometimes, sometimes when people say, oh, he's really passionate, that means like he's a freaking nut job.
Oh, no. I don't think you're a nut job. I mean, you can back your points up with thoughts, feelings, evidence.
I try to be very cognizant of saying, if I say something, I need to be able to at least point to something that supports my statement. That is valid.
You're the type of guy, though, that will throw something out there that might be interpreted a little controversial, or maybe like a little like, whoa, that he just said that. But then you can back it up. Whereas maybe Jason or TJ might say something a little bit more measured. You might, like, I've seen you on Facebook, bro.
Yeah.
You throw some stuff out there. I'm like, man, this guy's he's looking for an argument.
Sometimes the uncomfortable truth do that.
Yeah, right?
There's uncomfortable truths out there, and you gotta be willing to tell the uncomfortable truths, because nowadays there's so many people not willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They want to stay in that safe zone, you know.
Right.
The quote unquote controversial items are issues that are, you can be controversial, but you're not being controversial. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's those safe areas where you look like you're being controversial, but you're not really being controversial.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other stuff where you're really you're out there, but the thing is when you examine it, it's true. The sentiment is true. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
What brought you to? I mean, I've heard the story a couple times, but it's always good to hear a new perspective on it. What brought you to the podcast, and not expound upon what you think you bring to that show?
I think that what brought me to the podcast was Dutch and I would debate all the time on Facebook. We have these long, 300, 400 comment threads. And it's like me, Dutch, and somebody else, like just, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Threads lasting 2, 3, 4 days, going back and forth talking about stuff. And Dutch was like, you know what? We should do a podcast. Because at that point, Dutch was really, really, more conservative leaning. He's really kind of come towards the center a little bit.
Yeah, that's what he says now.
And people would view me as more progressive and more liberal. but there are some things that I'm conservative about. You know, so like biggest thing for me is I believe in the death penalty. There's certain shit that you do that, hey, guess what? Your ass needs to be erased. You know what I mean? Most of it having to do with children, but you know, but there's other things too. Like I sometimes say I have conservative beliefs, but I disagree with the conservative theory of where to go with those things.
Gotcha.
Like I believe in fiscal responsibility, but I don't believe in cutting the SNAP budget over cutting the defense budget.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if we're going to be fiscally responsible, let's stop paying for $4,000 hammers for people to freaking make a F-16 or whatever the new plane is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That hammer is freaking $15 at Menards. So why are we tripping? You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So that's the more fiscally responsible thing to me than taking food out of kids' mouths. You know what I mean? So I have conservative views. I just differ with a lot of conservatives on their method of implementation. But I digress. See, the tangents keep rolling. The
tangents are part of this. There is no format to this show, so the tangents can go wherever they go.
But so he was like, hey, let's do a podcast. And to me, the podcast seemed to me the idea for me was like, oh, this is going to be basically a glorified conference call where we bitch at each other. You know, it's a conference call made public, I guess.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I figured we'd do it for a while and then it would fizzle out and we go back to debating on Facebook. You know what I mean?
So you were like, all right, let's just try this out, but I don't know where.
Right.
I don't have
I'm
any
down for a
podcast.
Goals. That's cool. You know.
Right. You like to talk. Everyone likes to talk.
Yeah, I can
right?
talk. There's things I like to talk about.
Yeah.
But then as we kept, now we're 100 and something episodes.
Yeah.
So, and believe it or not, what's crazy to me is that people listen, and people think that our thoughts have some gravitas to them, some semblance of gravitas to them, where they will comment their love or hate of what we said.
Really?
Like it matters, you know. And I'm like, whoa, that kind of blows my mind that people are, number one, people listen to our ramblings because a lot of times there's a loose script as far as an outline of topics, but it's mostly just a free, it's the juice of podcasts. You know who MC Juice is, right?
Oh yeah.
Big battle rapper, freestyler.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is. Our podcast is, because we kind of have an idea, but then it kind of it takes its own course. And I think in the analysis of it, Voice from the Underground, the podcast, has some appeal because it is so organic, and we are just kind of, letting our hearts take us wherever they take us. You know what I mean? So
no, I agree.
And now it's more serious, and it's serious in the realm that we have a little bit of a following, I guess, and we're on multiple platforms and all that good stuff, but we still come to it with that we're just bullshitting in a conference call and other people happen to be able to hear it kind of way. So it's not like we're smelling our own shit or anything like that. So.
What I think is awesome about your show and in podcasting in general, but your show is, you guys are just normal people, first off, right?
Try to be.
You from the underground, so to speak. But the daily news cycle is caught up in snippets, right? It's caught up in
right.
7-minute segments, 5 minutes, and I'm talking about politics, of course.
Sometimes just a sentence out of a larger paragraph of somebody's words being polarized one way or another.
Exactly. And then they set up so-called debates, on, Fox or CNN, and the debates last 5 minutes and people are getting cut off, and you have to think, you're not even really debating. You have to think of a witty way to get your point out to make the other person look bad. So
it's just waiting to talk. It's not really
exactly. Listening. So what's cool about, a podcast in your type of show is it can go just as it goes. It's a natural conversation. There's context to everything. Right. Whereas, I think a lot of people, me included, just are tired of the let's package everything into a 30-minute to an hour show with different segments and not really expound upon the topics.
Yeah,
so I think that's where you guys nail it.
We do try to delve under just the quick and dirty. Here's what happened. What's your take? Okay, let's go.
Right. I mean, even if you look at like I didn't watch a ton of it, but if you look at the debate the other day with the Democrats, at the end of the day, it was still just kind of an entertainment
yelling back
thing.
And forth at each other.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, I'm not really. Are we sitting down and listening to one another, or are we just coming up with the juiciest point to make the other guy next to me look bad?
Exactly, and I don't like that, and that's one of the reasons why I chose not to watch. Is just because number one, it's way too early and there's too many candidates, so I'm not gonna.
They had like 10 people up there.
They had 10 one day and 10 another day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So guess what? I'm not in for that because
would they go an hour?
An hour and a half or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the math on that's like 6 to 13 minutes per person if you do it evenly, which they don't.
Right, because everybody's going to overtalk each other.
Right.
But my thing is that it's way too early to believe whatever the fuck y'all saying right now. Anyway,
Yeah.
And you're not really talking about any platform planks, like you said. You're just trying to go for blows at the person next to you, whoever seems to be having the lead, the momentum at that point. We're trying to diffuse their momentum, and that's stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you watch it? But it sounds like you didn't.
No, I didn't. No. I had other stuff to do, man. I was vacuuming the pool or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? We just bought this house and we got a pool, and I've had a pool before, but I wasn't home enough to really enjoy it and figure out how to maintain it and stuff because
is that a bitch to maintain a pool?
It's becoming a bitch. Yeah. Like today, we the solar cover that keeps the heat in and heats it up a little bit for you.
Yeah,
it's basically fucking bubble wrap. It's blue bubble wrap,
and
you put it over the pool, on the water. It floats on the water, and then you take the shit off. But it was dirty because it was the past owners. So we brought it out in the driveway and laid it all out and everything. Because here in Illinois, I don't know where you are.
Chicago.
Okay, cool. So here that big rainstorm was coming through, and we were like, "Oh shit, cool. We can let the rain kind of wash
it off." Yeah,
exactly. But to get that plastic heater thing back in the pool is a royal bitch. Okay, and there's
not
no
a one-person job.
No, it is not a one-person job. I work out a little bit, but it's still a 2-person job.
Okay,
and there's no way not to get shit into the pool as you're trying to put this thing in the pool. Okay. And our pool is above ground and it's round. So you don't have the luxury of buying one of those roller things where you can roll it up.
Oh yeah.
And then pull it out because it's a fucking circle. So how are you going to do that? I'm sure that they figured out a way to do it. And if I find one, I will be buying it. But I've dropped about $1,500 on this pool since we bought this house. And that was
unexpectedly.
I did not want, we had to buy a pump and we had to get this and we had to, the pump. We had everything done. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm about to turn on this pump and get it going. And Mo was like, get. And luckily I have a guy across the street from me. I used to actually train his son in baseball. And, he's a pool. I call him the pool Plato. Because he knows all the shit. And he came over because I'm like, dude, I'm about to blow this fucking pool up. We just going to have grass back here because I don't know what's going on. He comes over. He's like, you need a new pump. So boom, that was $400. And then we had a filter, but we fucked up taking the actual cover off the pool and dumped a bunch of shit in the bottom of the pool. So then we fucked that good filter up, vacuuming up all that crap out of the bottom of the pool. It took us like 10 days to get the pool swimmable. And it's supposed to take a day and a half. So, yes, it's a bitch. It is a royal bitch. But
all that work for what, 3 months of pool time?
Yeah, but you know something? Here's the thing. If you check my Facebook, man, you'll see the kids in that pool, dude.
Okay. All right,
and it makes it all worth it. When you get older and you have kids, and all right, I'll say this.
Okay.
If you have children and you're unselfish, your hard labor for their benefit is rewarding to you.
Okay.
If you have a bunch of kids and you're still selfish, you don't want to do that shit. You don't care how happy they are when they get in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you'd be looking at them like, I want to kick that little motherfucker in that pool because I just went through all this shit. But seeing them jump in the pool, seeing them swim around, seeing them just generally be happy about it is cool for me. And now I don't have to drag their asses to the splash pad.
There you go.
So there's a benefit there where I don't have to pack them up and pack up all this shit and know that the interior of my car is going to get all wet when they get out and all that shit because we're right there.
Yeah, that's true. I've listened to a ton of podcasts. I don't have kids yet.
Okay.
I've listened to a bunch where, they talk about having kids and they say it changes you. And if it doesn't change you in a positive way, then there's something wrong.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. I mean, having kids, like, I will admit, I was still a little selfish when I had my first couple kids with my ex-wife. Mm-hmm. It did change me in a positive way, but it did not make me as unselfish about things as I am now. Mm. Like, I was still trying to go out and kick it.
How old were you?
I was late in the grand scheme of things. Like, okay, I'm going to say something kind of racial right now.
Do it.
Okay. So, in the grand scheme of things, as a black dude, people don't believe that you didn't have your first child until you were, when was Peyton born?
Wait, you had yours when you were like 16, right?
No.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
I was graduated out of college. It was 1999. I was 27.
Oh, that's
27 when I had my first child. And guess what? Here's the thing. When I first graduated from college, and you're out and you're single and you back home or whatever, you meeting people and shit, girls will always say to me, so how many kids do you have? Or how many babies mamas do you have?
Was that a real thing? Really?
100% real.
Wow.
100% real. Especially meeting black ladies.
Wow.
Because the assumption is you at this stage of the game, you got a couple kids, at least 2.
Well, let me just throw in real quick before you finish. Half Filipino, half white. I haven't been asked that ever in my life.
Right. Right. Somebody might say, do you have kids?
Right.
But they wouldn't say, just bypass that right away and say, how many kids do you have? Or how many babies mamas you got? Because she's trying to ascertain how much drama she got to go through in this relationship if it goes that far. Mm-hmm. But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
When I would say, like, I'm 24, 25, 26 years old, 23 even. Mm-hmm. Hey, I don't have any kids. Bullshit. You lying. You must not claim them. You must be a deadbeat. You ain't got to lie.
Is this only with black girls?
Not only with black girls. Okay. Mostly with black girls.
Mostly, okay.
Like, white girls would say it. Latino girls would say it too. Some Asian girls, I've dated the rainbow. So, you don't
discriminate. I like it.
No, fine is fine no matter what color you are. Beautiful is beautiful. And guess what? Here's the thing is that I've always been a person where if your personality doesn't match your exterior, you're ugly to me. I've always been like that. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my upbringing. Maybe it's, just seeing fake people and, understanding that they're fake or that there's something ugly about their personality. But it's an immediate turnoff to me. An ugly personality is an immediate turnoff to me. Like
that's fun for like one night.
It's not even fun for that night because I'm like, I don't even like this bitch.
Wow. Yeah.
I tried it. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
that's good though. That's good on your part. You're not providing any sort of validation.
I've gone through it. I've gone through with it at times, but it's just like, it's half-hearted. It's almost like, what am I doing here? I'm discussing with myself because I really don't like this girl. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Yeah.
So, but yeah, you get that question. I would get that question all the time.
That's crazy.
How many babies mamas do you have? And then when you say none because I don't have any kids, or you say I don't have any kids, the assumption is that you're lying or being deceptive in some way.
So, what are some other things that you as a black man would only encounter in here, like in Chicago.
Okay, all right. So, did you go to college? Did you go to college?
Yeah. I went to Illinois, downstate.
Okay, I went to Eastern. I graduated from Eastern.
Oh, okay, nice.
As an athletic performance coach, I've run into this a bunch of times. Okay. There's two things. Number one, as an athletic performance coach, a lot of the parents feel like they assume that you were just a dumb jock.
Okay.
But that's almost universal. Okay. Mm-hmm. So white, black, Latino, or Hispanic or whatever, a lot of people assume that people that are coaches or people that are in fitness, they were phys ed majors in college, or if they even went to college, or they're just building off their athletic career. Not really they don't believe that fitness involves any intellectualism. Okay.
Absolutely not true.
Absolutely not true.
Right.
I've got a whole bookcase full of trade journals and books that I had to read to go through my certifications.
There's a shit ton of science behind this.
Yes. But as a person of color, there's an added component. Now, peep this. Now, most of the time when you get asked about college, somebody will say, what college did you go to? Correct?
Right.
Right. Here's the question I would get 60% of the time from one of the parents of one of the kids I was training when they want to try to get to know me during a break in the action where they're getting water or something.
Okay.
Did you go to college? Is the question. Right?
Yeah.
So then you say, yes, I went to Eastern Illinois University.
Okay.
Then they dig themselves deeper. Right? So like if somebody asks you, what college did you go to? And you say, I went to U of I. Right?
Yep.
They'll say, oh, when did you graduate? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, no.
Did you graduate? Did you graduate? Yes.
Wow.
I graduated in December of 1994. Right?
Yeah.
Then they dig themselves even deeper.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So normally, hey, what college did you go to? U of I. When did you graduate? Right? Mm-hmm. That's the end of the conversation. Oh, I got a friend that went to U of I. Did you know him? They graduated around the same time, right? Right. No. Even deeper. Next question. You must have been on scholarship. No, I wasn't on scholarship. I actually walked onto the football team. I walked onto the track team. Right?
Damn.
Oh, okay. So then they dig themselves even deeper. And usually after this question, I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. Don't talk to me no more. Then they'll say, oh, so you were you in one of those special programs that for admittance?
Like a bridge program or something?
Like a bridge, or like when I went to school, they had this thing called the MAP program, the Minority Admissions Program. Okay. Right. So they were like, so were you in some type of program? No. I got a freaking 27 on my ACT. You know what I mean? So I'm not dumb. I actually got into college. I got accepted to a few colleges. I chose Eastern because it was the closest without my mother being able to just show up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I wanted to go out of state, but then like she kept getting bronchitis my senior year. So I was like, if I need to get home, I don't want to have to come from Louisiana or Texas or New Mexico or whatever to try to get home.
Yeah. A quick side note. That was my reason to go to U of my family all went to U of I too, but U of I was far enough from Chicago where I could be away.
Yes.
Still get home.
You could get home if you needed to.
Yeah. Right.
Right. I can get home in 3 hours by train.
Right.
Or something like that.
Right.
And, like I visited U of I and I was like, God damn, every one of these classes is an auditorium class.
Yeah. It's huge.
Because it's so huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not conducive for me.
You like the smaller environment?
I needed a smaller environment because I needed to have instructors that would know if I wasn't there.
Oh, you wanted them to have accountability.
I wanted to have some accountability because I know myself. Because I was very, very, how do you say? Repressed. Not repressed. My mom wasn't repressive. She was just very worried because I grew up right by Comiskey Park. So I grew up right through the crack epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was in my middle school to high school years when crack was really, flowing strong. Okay. So I'm no stranger to the needles and littering the street and the crack vials littering the street and people overdosing. And I was 2 houses down from what they call dead man's lot because people would dump dead bodies in this lot that was a couple doors down from my house. And every once in a while, we call it the meat wagon. The meat wagon would come and they would do a sweep of the dead man's lot to see if anybody was in there.
Wow, that's another world.
my mother was understandably a little overprotective. And even though my sophomore year of high school, we moved to the suburbs, we moved to Bolingbrook, and I transferred to Romeoville High School. She was still protective, so it was still no hanging out after school and no parties and stuff like that, because when you grow up in that type of environment, you just really worry for your kids being out of your sight. And now I understand, but then I didn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that contributed to my already robust nerdhood, because I had the thick glasses that was, I could see the future.
Mm-hmm.
We were very poor.
How tall were you?
Oh, when I graduated high school, 4'11", 95 pounds.
Holy fuck! Wait, how big are you now? You look like you're a big dude now.
I am 5'9", and I'm 212.
Fuck! You were 4'11" coming out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
How? Mm-hmm. Damn, you had a growth spurt.
And the thing is this: I had been lifting weights since I was 11, and nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. Not a damn thing was happening.
Your body must have had like no testosterone flowing through it.
I don't know what was going on. I think next to late bloomer in the dictionary is a picture of me, like
4'11",
blinking my 4'11", 95 pounds.
That's rough.
And now from graduation day until my first day of college, I stepped onto Eastern's campus. I was 5'5" or 5'6".
Okay.
And I was 125 pounds. So from graduation day in high school to the first day of college, I grew 6-7 inches, and I gained 30 pounds.
I mean, you're still a smaller guy, but
still very, very small. Still small. Still not. I'm definitely not attractive to women measurements.
No, not at all.
Especially not with big old glasses, and I only had 3 pair of jeans and a pair of jogging pants when I stepped on campus. So every Wednesday, they knew I was wearing them brown corduroys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't have clothes. I didn't have appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can imagine, it was hard for me. Life was hard for me from the moment I started liking girls until I was about 21.
That's when you started getting learning and getting into your groove.
Here's what happened. This is what happened. Like after my freshman year, I went home. I came back home and I worked at Johnson Products on 87th and the Dan Ryan. I was working in the warehouse, wrapping up big old boxes of Carefree Curl conditioner and shit like that.
What the fuck?
We were shrink wrapping these big ass towers of boxes and stuff for shipment. Mm-hmm. Around the world, because Carefree Curl was still the shit back then.
Mm-hmm.
And but the summer after my sophomore year, I stayed at school because I wanted to work out, get ready for football and stuff like that. And plus, I didn't want to come home. I had so much. I was having fun, even though I wasn't successful with women. I was having fun in college, so I was like, I want to stay down here, because down here I could still party. Up in Chicago, you need a car to party. I didn't have a car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So. Through my freshman year, like when I came on campus, I had I had a Scottie Pippen. I had early Scottie Pippen, the low flat top, not the high flat top like when he had towards the end of his career. I had the low flat top.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I shaved it down and I was like fading my own hair. I would cut my own hair with clippers.
Were people fading back then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Black folks were.
Black folks were. This is 90. What year?
No. This was 91.
Okay, so I'm
91, 92.
So yeah, I got no semblance of what's going on.
So here's what happened. I was fading my hair one day.
Yeah.
The summer after my sophomore year, I came home real quick to get contacts.
Okay.
Because I didn't want glasses anymore. And the reason why I didn't want glasses anymore because when I would go out kicking it in the wintertime, you walk out the club and your glasses fog up and you can't see nobody. And everybody can see that your glasses are fogged. So any girl that might have been interested is like, this dude is a lame.
This is the club down at Eastern.
At Eastern, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
What was the
I'm like 19.
You could get in what? Did you have a fake or was it the bar?
Oh, my freshman year. Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course. That's the second thing I did at school.
Well, because at U of I, the bar drinking age is you can get in the bars at 19, which is I don't know how they get away with it.
I was only 18 still. I was only 18.
Gotcha.
I graduated. I didn't turn 18 until a month after I graduated high school.
Okay.
So I came home. I got contacts. I go back to school, and I'm fading my hair, getting ready to go out, and I messed up my fade. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm shaving it all off. So I shaved my whole head. I shaved it bald. And the girls went wild. Hassan? Ooh, where your glasses at? I got contacts. Ooh, I like your bald head. Dude. I was like, okay. Okay. And this is before Onyx came out with that Slam song. So people couldn't say, oh, you just did that because of Onyx. But like a month and a half later, Onyx's album dropped. And everybody thought people thought I was like, copying off of the bald head Onyx thing. And I was like, and girls would come to my defense like, no, he had that at the beginning of the summer. I saw him. It was funny. It was funny. So, I stayed at school every summer after that. I stayed at school, but I would still live in the dorms during the school year because I liked the dorm life.
Okay. So you would live in the dorms during the school year and then have like an apartment during the summer? I would get an
apartment. Our first apartment was, we called it the Pleasure Pit because it had a sunken living room where you had to step down into it. So we called it the Pleasure Pit. Me and my boy Wood.
So you have a shaved head now.
I got a shaved head.
When do you think you started like realizing like, okay, now I know, like I'm kind of figuring this whole girl thing out? Was there a moment, or
here was the thing. I was like,
a light bulb moment?
Okay, I shaved my head. I got contacts. Girls started being interested, but I was still very nice.
Yeah.
So then I was looking around at the guys who were really successful with the women, and they were fucking assholes. So I was like, I'm gonna try this asshole thing out.
Yeah.
And I turned into an asshole, and that shit worked.
It does, actually.
It works.
Unfortunately.
And ladies out there, a lot of guys who are treating you like shit and you're chasing them around, they're not really assholes. They're nice guys. But that's the shit that works for you guys. Still to this day.
Absolutely.
Still to this day, the asshole bit works. I don't know why you ladies fall for it. And you fall for it sometimes until you're into your 30s.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, ladies. I'm sorry. Okay.
They like the little hint of like, he's kind of a douche.
He's mysterious. Yeah. He's mysterious. He's edgy.
Yeah. He keeps me on.
I don't know if he cares. He keeps me on my toes.
Right.
No, he's just playing the game because you're giving him, you're doing what he wanted, what he would have done for you if you were nice.
Right.
If he was nice.
Right.
And so I became a person I wasn't. But it was so successful, and I felt like I had missed out for 20-something years of my life. So I let it ride for a long time. And every time I would try to be, like, nice, the girl would break up with me. I've had girls break up with me and say, you're too nice. You care too much about me.
You care about me.
You care about me too much. You're too nice. Okay. So then you just go back into it. Because, everybody needs love. Right.
I hear you, man. I mean, I'm single. But no, I've been in plenty of situations where I've done the asshole thing, and it a little hint of like just being a kind of a dick, and they like that. Yeah, and then my natural personality is to actually be nice. So then I'll revert back to my nice personality. And sometimes.
Then they withdraw on you.
Yeah, they withdraw.
Yeah, they pull the plug on you real quick, or they'll withdraw, and they'll. I was Mr. You're like a brother to me. Mm-hmm. I heard that so much. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that, this house would be about 3,000 more square feet bigger. Because you're like a brother to me. I love having a friend like you. I want to be your West Virginia friend though. You know what I mean? Right, I want to be your freaking backwoods of Tennessee brother.
Right.
That's the kind of brother I'm talking about being.
I'm in my 30s now. I still see that the asshole vibe works.
It does. I don't know why.
But I am noticing though that girls like a guy that has their shit together. So a little bit more stability, a guy that could take them out to do something.
You know, having your shit together doesn't mean you ain't an asshole.
That's true. They still are attracted. A lot of girls, not all, a lot of girls are initially attracted to that asshole vibe.
Oh yeah. And I think now that a lot of the asshole guys had daughters, that they were like, I don't want my daughter being treated like I treated girls.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I'll give my daughters all the game. I got 2 daughters and 2 sons. And, I give my daughters all the game. I'm like, don't fall for that bullshit. Nope.
He's doing that on purpose.
Like, Peyton, don't. Nope. Fuck that, Peyton. Nope. Don't do it. Don't you dare. You better not pick up that phone and call him.
The thing is, though,
you better not text him.
Anybody, not only kids, but you don't really learn until you get caught up and you're like, fuck. Like you never listen to your parents, right?
I listened to my mom, but I didn't really.
You don't. You listen, but you don't take it in.
No, there's so many things that my grandfather, especially and my grandmother, taught me or told me that I did not apply until I was in my 30s, and I was like, "Fuck! I wish I had done this when they were telling me." Like, my grandmother was like, "Now, baby, when you go to college, there are gonna be people on campus trying to get you to sign up for credit cards. Don't sign up for the credit cards. If you need money, call me. I will send you money." What did Hassan do? Hassan signed up for them credit cards. Fucked my credit up.
Oh man!
Anybody out here who's listening, who is going to college, do not. I repeat, do not get credit cards. Don't do it. Send your mother a postcard and use a lot of S words and make every S a $sign. She'll get the hint. You know?
Yep.
Or send her an email. I'm sorry. I'm old school.
Yeah.
Send her an email or a text. Send her a text and make all the S's in every word a $sign. And she'll get the hint that you need some money. You know, you're so super special, Mom. And I'm super just happy to have you.
It would be spectacular if I had a super mom like such as yourself.
Yeah. You just ended the source, you know? But yeah, don't get credit cards. Don't get credit cards. It's a trap. It is a trap.
It is a trap. So you went and got credit. How many credit cards you open up?
I had 2. And then, it's bullshit. Like, and see, when you're poor as fuck coming up, and you get, I got a $250 limit. Oh shit.
You consider yourself pretty poor growing up?
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. I'm from the gas is off. So we had to put big ass saucepans and shit like that on, electric plates to heat them up to take baths in the sink and shit like that.
Oh fuck.
I am from I grew up and we didn't have our own place for a long time. We were living with my grandmother or living with my aunt.
Damn.
I didn't have my own room until I was 16.
Hey, and now
I didn't have my own bed until I was 16.
Hey, now you're on a podcast complaining about what a bitch it is to have an outdoor pool.
Right. First world problems like a motherfucker, right? I'm having first world problems like a motherfucker. This fucking pool, like,
it makes you appreciate, right?
Yeah. Like,
you look back and like, look where I came from.
Right. Like, I had my own car before my mom had her own car.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? So we were broke, man. Like broke.
But you know what's cool though, at least from my perspective, is it's cool to see good people succeed. I'm not one of those.
And that's you know what's crazy is?
Yeah.
I don't even feel like I'm succeeded yet. You know, I'm like, damn, I still got shit to do. I still got stuff to do.
But that's because you're not a content person.
I'm not. I can be happy. I'm blessed. I'm very fucking blessed. I'm really happy. But I'm not satisfied. I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. I think that's a good way to say it. I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. There's things that I want to do. There's some things that I need to get put in place. And
I think that's healthy, though. You know, it's healthy to a point.
I think so too. I think when you get to a point where you're just kind of feeling like, okay, I can kick my heels up. That's when you start sliding off.
That's when you start to kind of regress a little bit, like your mind, your body, your soul, all that stuff starts to regress. But
I think there's always something to improve. So. There's always something you can improve.
You just don't want to get to the point where you never take a step back and look at what I've done. Like this is awesome.
I mean, I can look back and say, you know what? Coming from where I'm from, I've come a long way, but I still got a long way to fucking go. I got a long way. I still things I struggle with. I'm still immature in certain areas, and I'm closer to 50 than 40, and I'm still sitting here self-evaluating. Like, damn, I wish I could be more buttoned up in this area or that area. And I think that's another reason why I'm so into self-improvement. It's because I do see those flaws in my life that I still want to try to get ironed out. And mostly now, what's funny is that I'm not trying to iron them out necessarily for myself. I'm trying to iron them out so my kids don't see them, because if they don't see them, then they may not do them. You know what I mean? So I tell my kids all the time, I said, I've walked the path that you're walking. I know where all the shit is. I'm trying to tell you how not to step in the shit. You know, but they still want to go stomping in 2 feet sometimes.
Hey, sometimes kids.
Sometimes you got to learn on your own.
You got to learn on your own.
Yeah.
I've noticed that you can tell someone all day until you're blue in the face not to do something, but they won't learn until they actually do it and go, oh, fuck.
100%.
I fucked up. I should have listened.
Like my daughter, she's going to be 20 in December. And,
she's in school?
Yeah, she's at school. She don't like it, though. And I'm trying to tell her to stay, but she ain't listening. She don't like it, though. She doesn't like it. She's in junior college, and I think right now she kind of wants things to happen kind of easily. Yeah. Life ain't like that. You know what I mean? And what's worth, you got to, any goal that you have worth attaining, you got to go through some growth and discomfort to get it. And
Absolutely.
she's not ready to punch through that yet, I don't think.
Has she had has she grown up where things have come easy to her?
Not necessarily easy.
But she picks up on stuff pretty easy, and
of course, yeah. She's fucking smart as shit. She's smart as hell, but it's the application process, and that's the same thing for me growing up. I would get very mediocre grades, but then, like, you know, when I was coming up, we had this thing called the Iowa test. That was the standardized test back in the day.
Okay, so
I'm in 5th grade, and I'm getting, and this is how old school I am. We had not A, B, C, D, E, F. Or not A, B, C, D, F. We had satisfactory, excellent. I forget what the middle one was. Good, yes, good, and then unsatisfactory.
Right. I remember seeing those.
Yeah. So I would get satisfactory, or I would get a lot of S's, and I would get a couple U's, unsatisfactory, and then I would have a freaking excellent in phys ed or some shit like that.
Sure.
Gym.
Right.
Because I love going out and running, and I'm pretty fast. I was pretty fast until age took over. But then in 5th grade, I am, standardized test comes around, and I'm reading on a 12th grade level. I'm doing math on an 11th grade level. My comprehension is on a 9th grade level or whatever. So like these teachers are like, one time, I'll tell you quick. One time, my mom and I went to a parent teacher conference. Mrs. King is her name. I hope she's still alive. But she says to my mother, we're sitting there, and she says to my mother, and my mother's sitting right at the desk, and I'm sitting at one of the kids' desks behind my mom. Okay, just for context. And Mrs. King says to my mother, "Do you see this patch of gray hair right here?" And my mother says, yeah. She's like, that is your son's gray hair. And she just turns around and looks at me. And I'm like, you just signed my death warrant.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
And my mother was quick with the switch. You know? And I'm like, damn. And she's like, and she tells my mom, she's like, he's smart. I can see it. She's like, just the other day, last Thursday, I'm going through the math. I'm going over the math review for the test because, we had tests on Fridays. Right. And I was back, in the back. Is it the protractor or the compass that has a needle on it? I forget.
I believe it's the compass.
I believe it's the compass as well. So I have the needle part of the compass, and I am digging a hole into the desk. Looks like I am I'm laser focused on digging this hole in the desk. Right. So she asked me, she's like, Hassan, what did I just say? And I just repeated right back to her exactly what she said and the answer. And she was like, that is why I have gray hair for him, because He's not even listening. And he knows this stuff. He knows it. And now, you know, they would like if I was in school, if I was in elementary school in the mid 90s, they would have labeled me ADHD or ADD or some shit.
Sure.
Like that, and hop me up on drugs.
Yep.
But the thing was, and Mrs. King finally said it. She was like, I think that he should probably be in 6th or 7th grade, but they won't do it. They won't put him up there because this is not challenging enough for him. And that's why he's digging holes in my desks.
Wow, that's crazy. So you were just so bored with it.
But the thing is that boredom goes into complacency, and then you develop a habit of not applying yourself that permeates the rest of your life. So you have to fight hard against it. And I fought hard against that because, you know, like in college, I had a friend, and it would take him 6 hours of studying every night to get a C in a class. And it would take me maybe an hour and a half of studying every night to get a B in the class.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
I hear you.
Even then it was still kind of, you know, I could go in the library the morning that a paper's due and write a B+ paper.
I was the same way. I mean? So just from my perspective, that I was the same. I was the type where I never needed to really study all that hard. Like just school came easy to me, like everything. Yeah. Where like people would be like in college, people would be studying, pulling all nighters, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm going up on Green Street. What y'all doing?
Right, exactly. And they'd be like, "Do you even go to school?" And they'd be like, "You must have an easy major." I'd be like, "No, it's just this is easy." Right. Like I'm not 100%, you know, like your daughter. I don't know what she's going through, but it took me a while to like finally realize that to work hard, like working hard for things things that are worth accomplishing, you have to be uncomfortable. Like everything came so easy to me that I was like, if this doesn't come easy to me, then I don't want to do it.
It must not be worth it.
Right. It must be stupid.
And I think that's my daughter a little ways. And I'm just like, oh, babe, I just want to tell you, don't make it hard for yourself.
Yeah. Yep. Luckily, I had that motivation. Like I knew that I had to finish school. Yeah. So I did that, and I put myself in a position to get a decent job out of school. And then
there you go.
You know, but it took, even in like work, I was like, man, this work stuff, I don't know if I like this. Maybe I should just go back to school. I literally was like, I should just go back to school because that's
become a professional student. I could be Van Wilder. What the fuck am I doing?
What am I doing here? I can just go back to school and delay all this.
And delay it. I can go get my doctorate. That's another 8-9 years.
Right. That was my mindset.
And I was the one. I graduated. I got my bachelor's, and I was like, I am done. I'll come back. I'm gonna take a gap year, and I'm gonna come back and get my master's. Shit. 10 years later, I go back to get my master's.
So you went back
2005. Eventually. But I did it online. I did University of Phoenix. They got me, but I did it where you had to go into class 1 or 2 days a week, and then the rest you did online. So I didn't do the totally disrespected online 100%. Like they see a University of Phoenix degree, and I didn't realize this at the time, and I don't think a lot of people did, but people were like, right. But then like, what I would do in my interviews when I got my master's, I'd be like, yeah, I went to the University of Phoenix, but we actually had on campus. So you had to go and actually sit in front of professors and you know, kind of back your shit up instead of just throwing some shit together online.
I don't know if I could ever. I'm at the point where I'm like, do I ever want to go back? I mean, I guess it would help my career if I did, but I'm just like,
I mean, well, what do you do? What do you do?
I work in sales and like marketing. So I guess I guess if I got an MBA, it probably would help, but I just don't want to go back to school, and I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, sales and marketing is more about relationships too. So,
right. And I have a ton of it now. I have like 9 years of doing it. I feel like that the experience in and of itself is better. The
experience makes up for the not having your master's. Right. Now, what field are you in sales and marketing?
I work in right now. I work in sports. So sports, live events. Yeah.
Okay, that's real cool, dude.
It is cool. It is cool
for sure.
Yeah. No, it's fun. I mean, I just got a new job, so I basically work for one of the biggest. I don't want to like spout out the name, but
of course,
I will.
I smell you.
But it's one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world, and I'll tell you off the air.
Right.
So
I'm
really
definitely
cool.
good because I'm in sales and marketing right now too. I'm the sales and marketing coordinator for a couple of Orange Theory fitness franchises.
I remember you telling me that last time we spoke.
So, we definitely got to talk shop.
Oh, definitely. How do you like doing Orange Theory? Do you actively do it as well?
I do. I try to get 2 classes in a week at least.
Mm-hmm.
I do stuff at home. Actually, my son was working out with me today. It was so funny. It was so cool.
You getting in the orange zone?
Oh yes. Oh yeah, dude. I have. Here's the thing about Orange Theory.
Yeah.
When I first heard about it, and I was like, "Oh, it's heart rate based. This is some bullshit." You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then I took a class, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Because when you're overconfident, you go and do stupid shit like at Orange Theory, there's base, push, all out. Your base is like challenging but doable. Push is uncomfortable. All out is empty the tank on the treadmill. Correct?
Yep.
So you have your base, push, all out. And your first day when you're overconfident, you think there's going to be some bullshit. You have your base pace at like 8-9 miles an hour, and you run your push at 10, and you're doing your all outs at 12. And then like 3.5 minutes into the workout, you're like, I am not going to make it off this goddamn treadmill.
You're burned already.
I am cashed.
Yeah.
Cashed.
Yep.
When I tell you, not my calves were cramping, my anterior tibialis muscles, my shin muscles were cramping.
Oh, no.
I could not point my toes.
Oh my God.
They were cramping that bad.
Wow.
Literally could not point my toes. I'm laying on the ground, like rubbing the shit out of my shins.
God
because
damn.
I had run. Then you go to the rower.
Oh no.
And you're rowing. And of course you're flexing your anterior tibialis, those shin muscles.
Rowing is a bitch.
As you row,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And then I go to the floor and they're like, lay down and do this. And I go to try to get up and my shin muscles. No, dude, sit your ass down. Right?
Your body was literally giving up on you.
Don't fucking move. You understand me? Do not move. So I've gotten to the point where I'm not cramping up like that anymore.
That's good.
You know,
you can pace yourself through the workout.
Yeah, and I also coach classes.
Oh, nice.
So like people come in and they'll say, "Is the workout hard today?" And they hate my answer because I always say every workout is hard if you get after it.
Sure, true, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every workout is hard if you get after it. What the difference would be is the recovery. Like we have endurance, strength, power, and ESP. Mm-hmm. So after an endurance workout, usually I recover a little faster than after a power or strength workout. Because it's you lift a little bit more weight in the power and strength, and you do more all outs in your power and strength than you do in your endurance. And here's the thing for me is that I pulled my hamstring a couple months back on the treadmill, and this is where age shows up. Even if you're in shape, you still heal at an age as an age person. So I would pull my hamstring in college, and I'd be back running full speed in like a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. Now it's like it was like 6 weeks not on the treadmill.
Oh fuck. I am not envious of that happening.
So what I had to do was I had to start getting on the bike. And now I've been trying to work my way back on the treadmill, but I'm like self-conscious and I don't want to hurt my hamstring again. So I'm kind of holding back. Like I'll run my all out at like 10 and I could probably run 12, but I don't want to pull my hamstring. So what I've been doing is I found that I will push the shit out of myself on the bike. So I get on the bike and I rack those gears and I'm getting all my RPMs in and shit like that because I know that I can really go all out really, 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 really hard on the bike and not worry about pulling my hamstring or anything else. And it's lower impact on my knees too. So.
Sure. Yeah. The bike is better.
Yeah. But Orange Theory is a really good workout. It's a really good workout. I'd recommend it to anyone. And that's the great thing is anyone can do it too. So
absolutely.
We've got 70, 80-year-old people coming in and getting it in. They'll power walk. I'll be jogging or running. Somebody else is doing something else. It's great. It's great. And it's like a family atmosphere too. So
I like Orange Theory. I like the idea of group classes like that. I do CrossFit and it's the same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Where it's accountability, people telling you what to do. There's different levels.
Are you in a good box where they stress that the form and everything, and not hurting yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, they very much stress the form and not just lifting as much weight as you can, and they'll literally stop you in the middle of where like, hey, no, do it like don't do it like that.
Don't do that, or lower the weight. I know you're trying to do this, but lower the weight, or your form's really starting to deteriorate.
Right. They'll be like, during this particular workout, if this weight is difficult for you, you have to finish under this time. Make sure you just lower the weight. Like, stuff like that. There are bad boxes, yes.
Oh yeah, there are bad boxes where they'll just start, throwing you on doing the Olympic lifts, and you've never done them before. And
right.
No, go get the PVC pipe and let me get this form.
Exactly. Yeah, we have so our box has 2 levels. There's fitness, and then there's 3 levels actually: fitness, performance, and competition.
Yeah,
fitness is literally like from building you like foundational fitness. Like, so all the Olympic lifts, you're not doing that. You're doing all the stuff that would strengthen your body to eventually do Olympic lifts.
Nice. I like that. I like that philosophy.
Yeah, and then the performance is the Olympic lifting. Sorry. Performance is Olympic lifting, and then competition is then like you're training to compete in CrossFit
for the CrossFit games. Like a lot of people that do CrossFit do Orange Theory.
Yeah, I've seen the crossover.
And a couple of our instructors are I've got some great head instructors over at Orange Theory in Willowbrook and LaGrange, and those guys are CrossFitters, and they're real cool, real good guys. I always ask CrossFitters, do you worry about rhabdo?
I personally don't, because I don't have that. I'm not doing this to push my body as far as it can go. I do it to get my hour in, and I'm out. Right.
Because I've known 3 CrossFitters to get rhabdo.
Yeah,
and they're doing 7 days a week, and I'm like, when do you rest?
Exactly.
I'm like, you have to rest. You keep tearing your body down.
It's those guys that go 7 days a week, or girls, and go hour and a half, 2 hours, and I mean, then at that point you're gonna get rhabdo for sure. Like you gotta build in. Like our gym isn't even open 7 days a week.
That's great.
It's open.
That's 6. Great. I like that.
Yeah, and most of that, like the guys that are like really training, they go 5 days a week.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like people say, how many days should I work out in a row? I'm like, I never work out more than 2 days in a row. Mm-hmm. Like you'll never catch me working out 3 days in a row. No. Even when I do the body splits, where you go back and bis, chest and tris, and shoulders, and then legs. I'll do back and bis, chest and tris, then I'll wait a day, then I'll do shoulders, then I'll wait a day, then I'll do legs. You know what I mean?
Rest
just to give myself that. People don't understand that is where the results are. The results are in the rest.
Right. That's when the muscle rebuilds itself.
Right. The recovery is where you get your results. And people think it's just about beating themselves to death. And then it's counterproductive for them. Mm-hmm. They get more fatigued, and they actually start gaining more weight and feeling weaker and losing stamina. And like, wow, I'm going to the gym 6 days a week. That's
why.
Stop that and go 3 or 4 days a week, and I bet you feel better in 3 weeks.
Yeah, the most I go in a week is 4 days.
Yeah. I'll do stuff at home. If I don't get a chance to get at least 2 classes, I'll try to do 2 classes at least, and then two things at home. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll get lucky and I'll be able to do 3 Orange Theory classes, and then I may do one day at home of lifting. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do one day where I'll do like a Sean T cardio thing or something like that, or I'll do some yoga or something.
How'd you get involved in Orange Theory?
Actually, I was looking for something where I could marry my marketing degree and use that, my master's, but still be involved in fitness. Mm-hmm. So I interviewed at Orange Theory as the sales and marketing coordinator, which is great for my MBA, and then I still had my fitness certification. So they were like, if you want, you can sub in and teach classes too. So I teach like 7 or 8 classes a week.
What kind of coach would you say you are?
I am the coach where the members say, how in the hell does he have that much energy this early in the morning? Like, I'm the coach that dances. I have a playlist that I keep adding to, and I put it on shuffle or whatever.
What, all DMX?
And no, it's not all.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's some rock.
Yeah.
Like people trip out because Money for Nothing is on my playlist, and Faith by George Michael is on my playlist. I've got disco on my playlist. I've got house music. I've got rap. I've got R&B. I got Afro House. I've got Major Lazer. I got all kind of shit.
Oh man, you got everything.
Yeah. People always like, they're like, where's your playlist at? Can I download it? I'm like, it's on Spotify. It's on Spotify. Look up my profile and look up OTF, and that's the playlist. It's easy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Have fun. You know, like one lady said, I played your playlist at my little barbecue the other day, and everybody loved it. I was like, that's great.
It's nice to know that your musical tastes are shared by others.
Right. But yeah, that's how I got involved in it, and I like it a lot. I like being able to do that and do both things. It's the best of both worlds.
It's stimulating multiple facets of your personality.
Because I'll teach class like on Tuesdays. I'll teach class at like 5 a.m, 6 a.m, and 7:15.
You're a morning person.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not at all.
And how do you teach the morning class?
I teach the morning class because I have to in the later morning into the afternoon and evening, I have to do the sales and marketing stuff. So I've got to go prospect. I've got to go on visits. I've got to go do lunch and learns and all this other stuff. So
I have recruiting people. Is that your intent?
No. I'm actually I do a lot of work I do a lot of B2B where I'm trying to get businesses to get on our corporate rate plan. Like we sell books of banks of classes that you can buy and stuff like that. So I do a lot of B2B stuff where I'm talking to local businesses and even bigger businesses like banks and stuff like that, trying to, hey, you know something, any place that has a sedentary work style where, hey, come on over. We got 2 showers in the spot. You can come over at lunch, take a quick workout and get back to work. You know what I mean? Or you can come right after work, or you can come before work. And then, if you got 10 or more employees, we'll give you a discount. So
yeah, there you go. How do you do it then in the morning? Are you a big coffee drinker?
Well, I will have coffee, and then there's certain songs that I can play that no matter what, I could be in a dead sleep, and if that song came on, I would wake up hyped as shit. Like there's this ghetto house song called "Pump That Shit Up," and man, if I'm driving in and I'm really struggling to kind of get myself ready, I'll pull that song up, and man,
bro, the power of music, right?
The power of music. Hey, I grew up in a household where on the weekends we cleaned the house and everybody we had the music going and we would be dancing and singing as we clean and stuff. And our family was big into performances. Like we would have to do a show for the adults on Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. And it would be my birthday, but I had to do a damn song and dance, and I can't even sing, but the dancing was, and here's what's crazy is I didn't learn how to dance until I was like 16. I was horrible.
You had 2 left feet?
Yes. I have 2 younger sisters, and my 2 younger sisters taught me how to dance when I was about 16 or 17. And I was still not that great because, of course, my mom being protective, she wouldn't let me go to the parties to practice and kind of get it in.
You can't be a black man not knowing how to dance.
Well, it happens. There's a lot of us out there. But my sisters taught me how to dance. It kind of laid dormant in my body.
Okay.
And I went away to college, and I come back, and me and my sisters were doing a performance because I came back for Thanksgiving or some shit. And halfway through the performance, my sisters stopped what they're doing, and everybody's watching me. And I stop, and I'm like, what? And they're like, who are you? Where'd you learn to dance like that? You took everything that we taught you, and you just put it on 10. And like, that's just how I've been for the rest of my life. I would be in a store, and if the store's playing music and the music is good, I'll be dancing. I'll be in the checkout line. Not when I'm dancing at the store, I'm not like snapping out full,
choreography or anything.
Choreography or whatever. But
right.
I'm singing along and I'm dancing. I'm that guy in the car snapping out at the light and stuff. So,
you must be a lot of fun to be around.
Some people would say yes. My ex-wife would probably say no. But fair. I mean, there was 14 years where at least some of those years she wanted to be around me though. And I feel the same way. I feel there was many of those 14 years that we were together. I definitely wanted to be around her. So shouts out to my ex. You'll always be respected because you are the mother of my kids. You know.
Hey, there you go.
So,
well, I wanted to ask you. You brought this up before we even started. We got to do it on this show.
Sure.
Haas's Humidor. What are you smoking?
You want to know what I'm smoking on?
I want to know what you're smoking, and I want you to tell me about cigars.
Okay. All right. And this is funny because I almost used the slang term that my friends and I use because my friends smoke cigars, and this is my friend from college, my boy Adam. Shouts out to Adam. I love you, Fresh, forever. That's my boy.
Okay.
You don't even know. Anyway, when we're smoking cigars, and it comes from, because I ain't gonna tell him. He used to smoke something else.
Okay.
And when they talked about smoking something else, they called it chiefing.
Okay.
And I almost said, what am I chiefing? Because when we talk about cigars, oh, you chiefing today, or you puffing, are you smoking? So, today I am smoking the Macanudo.
The Menudo. Okay.
Macanudo CRU Royale. Okay.
Okay.
And I've reviewed this cigar on Voice from the Underground.
Didn't you review it pretty recently?
Like maybe in the last 6 weeks.
I think I heard about this one.
Yeah.
And
it is it's a good cigar. So, all right, how much do you know about cigars?
You don't inhale.
You do not inhale unless you want to be very sick.
Other than
don't do it. Not even a very mild cigar. You don't want to inhale the smoke. You don't smoke a cigar like smoking a cigarette.
No.
Okay. But
so you just swish it around in your mouth a little bit and then puff it.
Pull it
out?
into your mouth.
Yeah.
You let most of the smoke out. Okay. You can let the smoke out of your mouth very slowly. Mm-hmm. Let the smoke kind of waft, and of course, as you're breathing, you'll smell and taste some of the essences of the smoke and of the cigar. Or you can do what they call retrohale. Now, a retrohale is you pull the smoke into your mouth, and then you let about maybe 85 to 90% of the smoke out of your mouth. Then you close your mouth and you push the remaining 10 to 15% out through your nose. That's called a retrohale. Okay. Supposedly, you're supposed to be able to get more of the essences of the cigar and the flavor and stuff like that. For me, to date, and I've been smoking cigars for a while, most of the time when I retrohale, it still burns my nose. So I very rarely do it. Okay. I enjoyed enough doing a regular puff. So I am smoking the Macanudo Crew Royale, CRU Royale, like a Royale with cheese.
Yep.
I am smoking the Robusto, which is 5 inches by 50 ring gauge. So this is an interesting mix.
Okay.
You get the 5 inches in length, but the ring gauge or the distance around is measured, I believe, in millimeters.
Okay.
So it's 50 millimeters around. It's almost like do you like watches? Cigar? Do you like watches?
I'm not a big watch guy.
Oh, God bless it, dude. Anyway, I'm a big watch guy.
Yeah, I'm not big into accessories.
I like my dial to my watch face to be big. I like 50 millimeters and up.
So you're not rocking an Apple Watch?
No, not really. If they came out with a big one, I might.
You might. All right.
But the Robusto, that is a popular size because it's enough cigar to smoke in the car on your drive home or something like that. Okay. This cigar is not a puro, and a puro is where every part of the cigar comes from the same country. Okay. So like a puro from Honduras or Dominican Republic puro would be the wrapper, the binder, and the body and the filler all come from the Dominican Republic. This is not like that. The wrapper is actually from Ecuador. It's a Habano leaf, which is a milder type of leaf. And then you have some Nicaraguan and Brazilian and Dominican long filler tobacco. So it's a little bit of everything, in there. It's medium bodied, which means Like if you're smoking a really full bodied cigar, you want to smoke it with a meal or after a meal. You don't smoke it on an empty stomach.
Why is that?
You'll get sick.
You get sick? Okay.
Or you'll get a little high.
Oh.
Okay.
Hello.
It's really flavorful cigar. You got a little. It's a little spicy. So when you think of spicy, think of like black pepper or something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a little hint, and sometimes I taste it, sometimes I don't. But you can get a little hint of dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And then
sounds delicious.
Yeah, and then there's a little cedar smell. You get a little bit of cedar in there.
Man, that's like there's a combination of just things going on in this thing.
Yes, and it's got a pretty mild or mid-level draw. Now the draw is how hard do you have to pull to get the smoke into your mouth. Like a tight draw is where like you really have to pull hard. A medium type draw is where you're not really working that hard to get. And then there's a loose one where you don't have to hardly do anything, and you got the smoke in there, and you can But this is like a medium type of draw. And what I found is like this is my second or third Cru Royale, and the draw kind of varies from cigar to cigar sometimes. Now these are handmade, so I can understand that, and that's how you know you this is a truly handmade cigar, because there's slight differences in each one.
Gotcha.
Like the draw might be different or whatever. The burn, which means is does it burn evenly? You should always have like that. If you're holding a cigar vertically, you want that ash and that burn to be parallel to the ground.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't want it to be on an angle, you don't want an uneven burn. Uneven burn suggests something about the tobacco. That maybe it's more moist in certain spots than it should be, or drier in certain spots than it should be.
Damn,
that's why it's burning. That's why it's burning like that. Or sometimes when it's a really loose draw, so it's a loosely wrapped cigar, there's a lot of air getting in there, so it's really burning, burning a little bit faster than maybe
quicker
it should.
Than it should.
Like
Yeah. I hear
But
you.
the Cru Royale is rated 91.
Is that out of 100?
Out of 100.
Okay.
So it's the top 25 of the year for 2018. Really good cigar. Would I recommend this cigar for a beginner?
Yeah,
possibly not.
Okay.
If you're a beginner, you're gonna have the cigar. You definitely want to smoke it after your meal. So have like you go to Ditka's or Tavern on Rush or Ruth Chris or something like that and have a big old steak meal and stuff like that. This is a great cigar to go down to Lakeshore Drive after and walk up and down the lakefront and puff the cigar with your girl or something like that.
Noted.
Or have it with a coffee after. You know what I mean?
The last time I smoked cigars was for one of my guys. He was having like a baby shower, but with just his guys.
Yeah.
And we rented out like a cigar shop downtown.
Okay.
Just rented out the room, had wings, watched NCAA basketball, and smoked cigars. And I don't even know what I was smoking, but I just felt cool as hell. It was fun.
It is almost like a fraternity.
Yeah.
Like you could go to a cigar shop by yourself and sit there and smoke a cigar, and nobody's gonna look at you sideways. You might end up with 2 or 3 friends.
Wow.
Most people, you have those people that are elitist about cigars, and I try to stay away from those people because I have a very diverse palate. So I'll smoke an infused cigar one day, but I'll smoke a non-infused cigar another day. Like today, I've got the Cru Royale, which is not infused. That means there's no coffee infusion or anything else like that.
Gotcha.
But yesterday I was smoking an Isla del Sol. Okay. And Isla del Sol is infused with this, sweet kind of coffee, like it's a great breakfast cigar.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? You can smoke it with your coffee. And what's cool is like what you have your cigar paired with brings out certain notes in your cigar. So like I have some fruit punch and Bouillet bourbon paired with this Cru Royale. So it's a little sweeter.
Oh.
So when I take a sip of the drink and then I puff the cigar, I get a little bit more of the dark chocolate hints because of the sweetness, I believe, in the drink. Now, if I was just like a lot of times when I smoke non-infused, I will drink Gentleman Jack with it straight. It's one of the only whiskeys or bourbons I drink straight. Gentleman Jack. I love it. But with Gentleman Jack, if I was drinking Gentleman Jack with this cigar, I would get a lot more of the spice. It would taste a lot more spicy because bourbons and whiskeys are usually a little spicier.
Damn, that's crazy that you know the pairings and what will bring what out.
Yeah. And here's the thing is like, I don't go with like, you can look it up and say you can go on Google and say, what should I pair with my Macanudo Crew Royale? And you can find a listing of pairings. Me, I'm really instinctual with it. I'm like, oh, well, I feel like drinking this with it. So that's what I'm going to drink. You know what I mean?
Just discover it on your own.
Right. I discovered it. Like sometimes I'll have Crown Apple with my cigars.
How often are you smoking a cigar?
I try to smoke a cigar every day.
Wow.
I try to smoke one cigar every day. I'm not even lying to you.
Is that good? Is that good for your health?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, it's not like I'm inhaling. No, it's still nicotine. It's still tobacco. But I will tell you this, you know, no, is it necessarily good for your health? No.
Right.
It's not in a physical sense, but in a spiritual sense, maybe.
Hey, yeah, there you
emotional,
go. It puts you in a better place. Yeah.
You know how I got into cigars?
How'd you get in?
Contemplating divorce. I would literally walk my subdivision, smoking cigars, thinking, damn, should I leave? Am I doing everything I should do? Is there something else I could do to make this better? I'm not happy. Blah. And at this point, I'm smoking 99-cent White Owls from Casey's General Store out by DeKalb. Because I lived out there at that time.
Oh, DeKalb, that's nasty.
Yeah, you know what? DeKalb is okay.
Is it?
Actually, what's funny is I met my current wife while I was still living out there.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So there it is. But I would be walking the subdivision smoking cigars, and my neighbors would be like, dude, I saw you walking like 3:30 in the morning yesterday. What's going on? Just got a lot on my mind, homie. A lot on my mind.
Hey, if it, I mean, it might not be good in the physical sense, but if it makes your mood better, if it improves your outlook on things, then go for it. It does.
Right? And you, it's the breathing, it's the puffing, it's, that's why a lot of people smoke cigarettes, because it's actually the soothing nature of breathing. You breathe deeper when you smoke a cigar. You breathe deeper when you smoke a cigarette. So you're getting that oxygen kind of into your body. You're taking those breaths and you're cleansing. It's not as peaceful or as cathartic for me as riding my motorcycle, but it's very close. It's very close. And I'll smoke a cigar once a day. If I can get more than one in a day, I'll do it. Most I've smoked in a day is like 4 or 5. But I know people, I read an article in Cigar Aficionado magazine. There's this guy, he's like 97 years old. He'll wake up in the morning and before his feet hit the ground, the cigar is lit. He'll smoke 12 or 13 cigars a day.
Damn.
12 or 13 cigars a day. That
seems crazy.
That seems crazy, but he's 97. He's been doing it for like 60 years.
Oh, damn.
Isn't that crazy?
That's even crazier.
Here's the thing is like, yeah, I didn't realize this before until about a few months ago. My grandmother, God rest her soul, used to take me to see my great grandmother, Early Mae Hayden, in Robert Taylor Homes. And we would always stop and get her a box of cigars. And my great grandma, my aunt, my May, was her name, my May, God rest your soul, love you. She smoked cigars. She would answer the door with a cigar. She had a cigar in her mouth when she answered the door. And by the time we left, she had smoked 2 more. God damn. And she lived a good long time, 98, 99 years old, something like that. So
it's possible to live a long life.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, everything is a risk.
That's true.
Everything is a risk, but like Bob Harper had a heart attack. That's some crazy shit.
Right.
So, fit guy the fittest.
Yeah, everyone's body is different. We're all just figuring this stuff out as we go along.
I tell people every blink, every breath, every thought, every word, every action could be your last one. So you better milk and squeeze every drop out of life you can get. So I'm not going to stop smoking these cigars.
Because it's your damn life, right?
It's I'm just saying. Just saying, somebody told me something, and before she passed, my great grandmother Nana, she said to me, and I'm gonna try to say it in her voice. She's like, "Baby, when you get older and you start thinking about your life and looking back on things, you regret more the things that you didn't do than the things you did, baby. So go ahead and make them mistakes."
It's absolutely true.
And I said, Nana, that's true.
That's absolutely
but
true.
that led to me just saying fuck it and doing some things that was bad.
But you got to learn, right? Like we were talking about earlier.
But
you don't
something?
know.
I would, to have the experience, I'd rather have the experience and know it's potentially a negative than to not do it. And I'd be like, I wonder what would have happened if I had done that.
Absolutely. So. How are you on time?
My wife is probably like, where the fuck is this dude at? So
well,
I should probably jump off.
All right. Well, let's end it there because that's okay. Beautiful right there.
That's cool.
Is there anything?
Yeah, but if you're looking to try a cigar, Macanudo Crew Royale is not bad. If you're a beginner, make sure you eat a good meal before you smoke that cigar. It's a medium cigar, so it's not like it's gonna knock you on your ass. But you want to have a meal, okay?
Noted.
I guess I want to shout out Voice from the Underground, the podcast.
Yep.
You can catch us at www. What is it? Voice from the Underground or VFUpodcast.yolasite.com. I think it is. It's so rare that I actually give out the website.
Here,
so,
I got it for you. VFUpodcast.yolasite.com.
Okay, I was right.
You were right.
I was right. VFUpodcast.yolasite.com. And
awesome.
If you want to be a patron of ours,
absolutely.
We're now at the point where 1/3 of all of our proceeds go to worthy organizations like Wounded Warrior Foundation and things like that.
That's beautiful.
So it is www.patreon.com/VFU podcast.
Perfect.
And if you ever want to hit me up on Twitter, I am Frozen Pharaoh, PHROZENPHARO on Twitter.
Perfect.
And with that being said, just, hey, be nice to somebody, be nice to everybody, because you never know what they're going through.
There you go. Thanks for coming on, man.
For sure. Thanks for having me. I rambled so long, man. I'm sorry for talking so much.
Oh, no, that was the point of this.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute. But we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies, TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week, along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners. So they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher,
Facebook,
Spotify,
and any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
Damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.